All right, today we're tackling a big one. The Mount Everest of modern literature, James Joyce's Ulysses. Yeah, I know, it's that book that's been intimidating readers for about a century now. But what if I told you that behind that legendarily difficult surface, there's a story that's actually surprisingly simple and deeply, deeply human? Just listen to a line like that. It's a lot, right? It's dense, it's philosophical, it feels like a puzzle you have to unlock just to get through the sentence. This is exactly the kind of writing that makes most people just, gently close the book and put it back on the shelf. And look, if you're confused by that, you are in very good company. This novel is meant to throw you off balance. Joyce basically wanted to reinvent what a book could even be, and, well, that meant tossing out a whole lot of the rules we're used to. But that's what we're going to do here. For the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to break it all down and get to the real heart of what makes Ulysses not just a difficult book, but an absolute game-changing masterpiece. So, first things first, what is this book even about? Because underneath all of that complex language, the actual premise is surprisingly straightforward and honestly kind of beautiful. Get this, the entire story, all 700-something pages of this epic journey, it all happens in just one single day. We're talking about Thursday, June 16th, 1904 in Dublin. It's a book about ordinary life, seen in the most extraordinary way imaginable. And on this one day, we're basically following the crisscrossing paths of two very different guys. First, you got Stephen Dedalus. He's the young, moody artist wrestling with these huge, heavy ideas. And then you have Leopold Bloom, a middle-aged admin, kind of your classic everyman, whose thoughts are all about the nitty-gritty details of the city around him. Okay, so let's jump into the mind of our first guy, Stephen. To be inside his head is to be in a total battlefield of guilt, ambition, and just a whole lot of frustration. You hear a line like this, and you immediately know what's eating at him. Stephen is completely haunted by the memory of his mother. See, he refused to pray for her when she was dying. It was this big act of intellectual rebellion. But now that decision just echoes in his head as this constant, crushing guilt. And it's not just personal guilt. He feels artistically and intellectually suffocated. He's trapped between these two massive forces in Ireland at the time, the British Empire and the Catholic Church. So here he is, an artist trying to find his voice, but he feels like he's been crushed from all sides by history and religion. Now, let's do a complete 180 and meet our other hero, Leopold Bloom. If Stephen's world is all about abstract ideas and torment, Bloom's world is all about, well, the real world. He is one of the most wonderfully human characters ever written. Come on. While Stephen is having a crisis about God and country, Bloom is contemplating sausages for breakfast. He's a man who's just incredibly curious about everything. His thoughts are just filled with the smells and sounds of Dublin. He's fascinated by how everything works, from the city sewers to the science of a good newspaper ad. And because he's an ad man, his brain is constantly noticing slogans and jingles. But he's also kind of an outsider. He's Jewish in a very Catholic city, and his day is full of these little worries and sadnesses. He knows his wife Molly is having an affair. His inner life isn't some grand epic. It's about navigating the messy, funny, sad, fascinating business of just being alive. So we have our characters, we have our one-day timeline, but the thing that truly makes Ulysses a revolution isn't what happens, it's how Joyce tells the story. He basically decided one writing style just wasn't going to cut it. Instead of giving us one consistent voice, he uses a completely different literary style for almost every single chapter. It's this incredible, dizzying performance that forces you, the reader, to constantly adapt. It's his way of saying, hey, no single point of view can ever capture the total chaos and complexity of life. His most famous trick, of course, is what's called stream of consciousness. Instead of a narrator telling us what a character is thinking, Joyce just drops us right into the raw, unfiltered flow of thoughts as they're happening in their brain. Look at this bit from Bloom's mind. It's not grammatically correct. It hops around. Latchkey, wrong pants. Oh yeah, I have a potato in my pocket. This is how we actually think. It's this messy, jumbled, associative river of ideas and memories and little observations. But then, just when you start to get comfortable with that, Joyce completely yanks the rug out from under you and changes the rules of the game. There's a chapter set in a newspaper office, so how does he write it? The whole story is constantly interrupted by these loud, sensational headlines. The narrative gets broken up into these little pieces, perfectly capturing the chaotic public buzz of the city. Oh, and trust me, the experiments get even wilder. Later in the book, when Bloom is wandering through the city's nightlife district, the whole story just morphs into this bizarre, surreal play script. So here, all of Bloom's secret fantasies and his deepest anxieties are literally acted out on a stage in his mind. He becomes a king, a messiah, the emperor of the new Bloomazilium. It's Joyce showing us the wild subconscious churning away just beneath the surface of this quiet, ordinary guy. And then, near the end, Joyce strips out all the emotion. The book becomes this cold, detached, almost robotic question and answer session. Suddenly, everything is reduced to just facts. Question, answer. Question, answer. After hundreds of pages swimming around in the warm, messy river of human thought, this style is so jarring. It's like looking at humanity from outer space, seeing only data points. So, why? Why do all of this? What's the point of all the shifting and the experiments? Well, for Joyce, a single day and a single human life contains everything: guilt, joy, memory, digestion, fantasy, science, history, boredom, all of it. And to capture that totality, he had to use every single tool in the writer's toolbox. Ulysses is so much more than a story, it's really an experience. It's this incredible attempt to map the entire universe of the human mind. And it leaves us with a really fascinating question. By blowing up the traditional novel, by shattering it into 1,000 pieces, did Joyce actually create something that's more chaotic, more challenging, but maybe a truer reflection of what life actually feels like?